Hello Year 9, thank you very much for all of your hard work yesterday. We're very much looking forward to having you all back in school very soon. In today's lesson, we are going to be revising Unit 2 because we have come to the end of Unit 2 of our Weimar and Nazi Germany course, which means we've gone through 50% of the content already. So in today's lesson, you're going to be watching this video, listening to all of my instructions, pausing the video when I ask you to, and completing all of the activities in your history books. So you're going to need a pen, pencil, and a ruler, and a green pen as well. So your title for today's lesson is on the video now, Unit 2, Hitler's Rise to Power Revision Lesson. So pause the video now so you have time to write the date and the title. Pause the video now. So we are going to start by having a look at Hitler's early career in politics. Now, after the First World War, Hitler, who was a soldier, ex-soldier from the First World War, he was employed by the army to keep an eye on political activists. Now, a political activist, as you can see here in the key words, is someone who campaigns for change. And one of the political activists that Hitler was keeping an eye on was called Anton Drexler. And Anton Drexler, he was the leader of a political party called the German Workers' Party, or the DAP, which were a right-wing group. And as part of Hitler's job, he had to attend the meetings of the DAP. And the very first meeting, there was only 23 members of this political party, so it was a really small party. But Hitler was listening in, and he decided that he really liked their ideas. So, in Munich on September 1919, Hitler joins the German Workers' Party. Okay, so over to you for our first task. Under the subheading, Hitler's early career in politics, I would like you to answer all of the questions that you can see on the video now. So, if you get stuck, you can rewind the video and listen to my explanation of Hitler's early career in politics again. This activity should take you about 5 minutes. I would like you to write out both the questions and the answers. So pause the video now so you have a chance to do that. Pause the video now. Okay, so green pens at the ready. The first question, who was Adolf Hitler? If you've written something like an ex-soldier from World War I, employed by the army to watch political activists, you can give yourself a big green tick. If who was Anton Drexler? If you've written the leader of the German Workers' Party, you can give yourself a tick. What was Hitler's job before joining the DAP? He was a soldier in World War I. Give yourself a tick. Why did he join the DAP? Because he attended their meetings and liked their ideas. Where did he join the DAP? In Munich, which is a city in the south of Germany. And then finally, when did he join the DAP? In September 1919. So well done for completing that first task. So having joined the DAP, the German Workers' Party, in September 1919, in just 2 years, Adolf Hitler had taken control of the party and he'd reshaped it into the Nazi Party. Now, there were 5 different steps to this takeover. The first step was that he got the party ideas in place. So in January 1920, Hitler became the head of party propaganda, and he wrote the party's 25-point program, which you can see here. And in this program, he explained what the policies were of the DAP. And the 3 main things that the DAP were against were firstly, they were against the Weimar politicians who got rid of the Kaiser, the king, that made peace and accepted the Treaty of Versailles. They were also against democracy, which they believed to be weak, and they were also against the Jews, who they blamed for damaging the German economy. So, over to you now. I would like you to write the subheading, step 1, get the ideas in place, and I would like you to spend 3 minutes writing your answers to these 3 questions here. Okay, so 3 minutes, write out the question and then write out your answer. Pause the video now so you have a chance to do that. So pause the video now. Okay, so the first question, what position was Hitler appointed to in January 1920? You should have written the head of propaganda. You can give yourself a green tick. What was the 25-point programme, where the policies of the DAP were explained? You can give yourself a green tick. And finally, what 3 things were the German Workers' Party, what 3 things were they against? So if you've written Weimar politicians, democracy, and the Jews, you can give yourself a green tick. So well done. So the second part of the reason why Hitler was able to take control of the DAP party was his appeal to the people. So membership of the DAP grew to 1,000 by June 1920 and 3,000 by the end of 1920. And most of these new members, they joined because they liked Hitler and they thought he was a very good speaker. So you can see from this source here that he's obviously captivating his audience. He's speaking passionately, using strong body language, like waving his arms about to make a point. And you can also see all of these people looking intently at what he has to say. His speeches were very persuasive, and this persuaded people to start following him and to join the German Workers' Party. So what I would like you to do now is, underneath this heading here, step 2, appeal to the people, I would like you to complete this sentence here. So from this source, I've learned that the growing support for the Nazis was the result of. I want you to take a look at this picture and finish off the sentence. So pause the video now and you can spend about 3 minutes doing that. So pause the video now. Brilliant. So if you've written something like, from this source, I have learnt that the growing support for the Nazis was the result of Hitler's persuasive speeches, or Hitler speaking passionately, or lots of people listening to Hitler, you can give yourself a green tick. So well done. So the third step in Hitler taking over the Nazi party was the fact that he got the party organised. So first of all, there was new offices created in Munich, which meant that the party's meetings were much better organised and well advertised as well. So party membership and funds began to increase. But also, Hitler suggested renaming the party to the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the NSDAP, or the Nazi Party for short. The 3 parts of the name, National, Socialist and Workers, appealed to a lot of different people, so the party became popular. But there was also a new logo. So the Nazi party now had this new logo called the swastika that everyone would recognise. And then finally, the Nazi party bought a newspaper so that their views could be spread to more people. So over to you. Under the heading step 3, get organised, I would like you to draw out this table. And then in this section, I would like you to explain how each of these changes would have helped to get the Nazi party more support. So this task should take you about 5 minutes. I would like you to pause the video now so you have a chance to do the task. So you need to explain how each of these changes would have helped the Nazi Party to get more support. If you get stuck, again, you can go back in the video and listen to my explanation. So pause the video now so that you have a chance to do that. Okay, excellent. So let's go through some of the answers. For the new offices, we said that would help the Nazi Party to get support because the meetings were better organised and advertised. The new name meant that the Nazi Party appealed to more people. The new logo meant that the Nazi Party was more recognisable. And then finally, the new newspaper meant that ideas spread to more people. Excellent. Okay, so the final 2 steps that Hitler took in order to take control of the Nazi Party was, firstly, he ensured that he was surrounded by supporters. So in July 1921, Hitler had become the leader of the NSDAP, or the Nazi Party, so he surrounded himself with supporters to help him lead the party. And then finally, the 5th step was that he planned to scare anyone that didn't like the Nazi Party. So he had a private military called the SA, and they showed their importance by marching around the streets. And at Nazi meetings, they controlled the crowds and stopped any opposition to Hitler. So what I would like you to do now is write both of these subheadings and bullet point 2 bits of information underneath both of those subheadings. So step 4 and then 2 bullet points about what it was, step 5 and then 2 bullet points about what it was. So pause the video now so you have a chance to do that. So after Hitler had taken control of the Nazi Party, in November 1923, Hitler launched the Munich Putsch, which is sometimes called the Beer Hall Putsch. And this was an armed revolt that intended to overthrow the Weimar government. So, on the evening of the 8th of November 1923, Bavarian government officials were meeting in a beer hall in Munich. Now, on the video now, you can see a list of dates on this side. On this side, you can see a list of events. What I would like you to do is put the events of the Munich Putsch in order and match them to their date. So in your books, you will write out the dates, and then you can simply write the letter of the event that corresponds with that date next to it. So this should take you about 3 minutes, so you can pause the video now so you have a chance to do that. So pause the video now. Okay, so 8th of November 1923, you should have matched with B. Hitler and 600 SA soldiers burst into a beer hall where government officials were meeting. Gustav von Kahr was speaking. With the threat of a gun, Hitler said he was taking control of Bavaria and then would march to Berlin to overthrow the Weimar Republic. So the next one, the 8th of November 1923, the night, you should have matched here with C. When Hitler was organising his supporters, von Kahr left the beer hall and said he was not supporting Hitler and began to organise opposition to the putsch. So, the 9th of November 1923, you should have matched with D. So Hitler took his revolt to the streets, 1,000 SA soldiers and 2,000 volunteers marched through the city. Violence broke out and Hitler fled. And then finally, in the 11th of November 1923, you should have matched with A. So Hitler was found, and arrested. The Munich Putsch had failed. So well done for completing that activity. So the years after the Munich Putsch are known as the lean years of the Nazi Party, and these took place between 1924 and 1928. And now the lean years mean the difficult years for the Nazi Party where they really didn't have very much support at all. So these years start when Hitler is in jail in 1924, where he writes Mein Kampf, which, as you remember, is the key source of information about the political beliefs of the Nazi Party. Then, when Hitler is released from jail, and in February 1925, the ban on the Nazi Party is lifted and Hitler relaunches the party. So, between 1925 and 1928, Hitler starts to reorganize the party. Now, the Munich Putsch made Hitler realize that he couldn't come to power through violence and he had to use politics instead. So, he created new Nazi headquarters. He created a national Nazi party, which means the Nazi party was spread across the whole country. And he also set up the SS, who worked as his bodyguards. Now, during these years, in 1926, there was an event called the Bamberg Conference. Now, this was because there was a split in the Nazi Party. Some people wanted to emphasize the socialist part of the party, which means they wanted benefits for workers, whereas others, they wanted to emphasize the nationalist part. So they wanted a strong Germany and action against the Jews. But by the end of the Bamberg Conference, the socialist part of the NSDAP, or the Nazi Party, was weakened. So that is just a summary of the key events of the lean years. So what I would like you to do now is spend 5 minutes just answering the questions that you can see on the video now. I would like you to write out the question, and then the answer to the question next to them. If you get stuck, please go back in the video and watch my explanation again. So pause the video now and spend 5 minutes answering those questions. You can pause the video now. Okay, excellent. So the first answer, you can give yourself a green tick if you've written because the Nazi Party had limited support. A green tick for in prison. Green tick for Hitler's personal bodyguards. Green tick for the fact that Hitler realised he couldn't get to power through violence. And then finally, a green tick for those of you who have written the socialist part of the NSDAP was weakened. So well done. So after the lean years, where the Nazis didn't get very much support, they had a bit of a change of fortune in 1929 because two events happened that allowed them to increase their support. First of all, because we had Stresemann, who died of a heart attack in October 1929. So remember, this is Stresemann, and he was the popular chancellor of the Weimar Republic who put in place many policies that helped to solve the Weimar Republic's problems. But then, just later in the same month, the Wall Street crash happened, which led to a worldwide economic depression. And this lost a great deal of respect and power for the German government because they weren't seen to handle it very well. So, because of the Wall Street crash, unemployment went up significantly to 6 million people by 1933. And as this was happening, the support for the Nazi Party was going up. So as you can see, in 1928, they only had 2.6% of the vote, but then by 1933, they had 43.9% of the vote. So this wasn't only because of the fact that people thought the Weimar government was weak and unable to deal with the Nazi Party. It was also to do with the Nazi Party themselves. So I've got another list of reasons here why support rose for the Nazi Party. First of all, we have because people saw Hitler as a bit of a Superman. They saw him as a strong leader who made many promises and he could restore law and order. We've got another reason here, which was the role of the SS. And people saw the SS and they thought that the Nazis looked organised, disciplined and reliable. So they thought that they were the party that could help them to overcome the problems caused by the Wall Street crash. And then finally, because the Nazis appealed to lots of different sections of the population, and we've got the different sections here. So the middle class, the middle classes, the farmers, the the big businesses, and the working class as well. So for the last task you're going to do today, again, you're going to be answering some comprehension questions. Again, you can go back in the video to re-watch my explanations if you get stuck on any of the questions, but I would like you to write out the questions and their answers in your book. Again, this should take you about 5 minutes, so you can pause the video now so you have a chance to do that. So pause the video now. Excellent, so let's go through the answers then. Question number 1. It made the Weimar government look weak and unable to deal with the crisis. Number 2, 6 million. Number 3, because he seemed to be a strong leader or he gave good speeches or anything like that. 4, why did the SA help to increase Nazi support? Because they made the Nazi party seem more organised. And finally, what different groups began to support the Nazis? And here we've got different groups here, so you can give yourself a big green tick. Well done for all of your work today, Year 9. In our live lesson, we are going to be continuing with our revision on Unit 2 before we start Unit 3 when we're all back in school together. Thank you for your hard work today. Please do send a photo of your work to me before the end of the school day. Thanks a lot. Bye.